Welcome back to Lights Camera Location with me, Ash. In this episode, we're looking at Robert Pattinson in The Batman. Now, this film was shot at locations in Scotland, Glasgow, and England, Liverpool. So join me as we take a trip into the world of The Dark Knight, The Batman. The Batman was released in 2022 and starred Robert Pattinson as the Dark Knight, in what many describe as a much more gritty, realistic and dark depiction of the Caped Crusader. The Batman shows a very human side to the character and also features some great performances by actors such as Andy Serkis as Alfred, Colin Farrell as the Penguin, Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, and Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. Taking up the spot as the title villain, however, is Paul Dano as the Riddler. The film was shot during 2020 and 2021, at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, making things challenging for the production crew. Nevertheless, Warner Brothers were able to shoot the movie across a host of exciting locations across England, Scotland and the USA. In this video, we're going to be looking at some of the locations used in Scotland and England. Our very first location takes us to the city of Liverpool in Merseyside, aka the birthplace of the Beatles. At the opening of the film, we are introduced to the new Gotham City, with a fantastic wide shot of the main square, depicting city buildings covered in LED screens and a tall monument in the centre of the square. You may not believe it, but this shot was actually taken in Liverpool. The central monument we see in the middle of the square is actually none other than Wellington's Column, which sits on the corner of William Brown Street and Lime Street in the centre of Liverpool. To shoot this scene, giant LED screens were erected to cover the buildings, and a host of extras dressed in Halloween attire covered the square. And with some help of some clever CGI, we are transported into the new Gotham City Square. The nearby County Sessions House, which also sits close to Wellington's Column, was also used in the movie to depict Gotham's central courthouse, as well as the nearby Walker Art Gallery, which is used to depict Gotham General Hospital. Just opposite Wellington's Column is another location used for a funeral scene. Gotham City Hall, which we see in this shot right here, was actually portrayed by St George's Hall in Liverpool. In the movie, Bruce Wayne arrives outside the building to a crowd of protesters and attendees of the funeral. We see Bruce get out of his car and ascend the stairs of the building. These scenes were shot right here. After climbing the stairs, a short conversation takes place with Falcone and the Penguin before they all enter the City Hall for the funeral. Those scenes were again shot right here, outside of St George's Hall in Liverpool. The inside of the building was not used for filming, but the set that was built at Leavesden Studios in England took inspiration from the real-life building Glasgow Cathedral. Due to needing a car to crash through the entrance, a recreation of the interior was built on a set, but this was the building that was used as the film's inspiration. Glasgow Cathedral is in itself a very impressive building that features fantastic architecture. It can be visited in Glasgow to this very day. Back in Liverpool, another famous building that was used as the Gotham City Police headquarters was the fantastic Royal Liver building with its iconic clock that sits close by to the fantastic Albert Docks. In the movie, Commissioner Gordon helps Batman escape police custody and escape to the rooftop, where his only means of escape is to glide from the top of the building onto the streets below. The building's amazing clock can be seen in the background as he flies through the air, landing on the streets below. What a shot! The actual landing was shot in Chicago, but the Liver building sits right by the docks in Liverpool. Well worth checking out, especially for the building's fantastic shape and structure. In the finale of the movie, we see Batman talking with Catwoman, contemplating the idea of taking off on the road together. We then see the two race through a cemetery together on motorbikes. Those scenes were shot at the Glasgow necropolis, which sits on a hill right next to Glasgow Cathedral. The two are seen in various shots around the grounds before they race across the bridge and stop outside a tunnel. The tunnel was actually shot right here, back in Liverpool, at Anfield Cemetery and Crematorium. After they enter the tunnel, they turn and both go their separate ways. The final shots of Batman riding away from Catwoman were shot back in Glasgow, on this street right here. A very fine example of good editing, as in the movie the locations seamlessly blend into one. Both cemeteries are very fascinating places to explore. The Glasgow necropolis in particular is worth a visit, with many famous figures buried in the grounds. And its location on the hill, with Glasgow in the distance, is easy to see why Glasgow stood in for Gotham in this scene of the Batman. The tunnel at Anfield is also very impressive and feels very much like it fits into Batman's world and the setting of Gotham as it's supposed to portray in the film. Well worth checking out. There is one final location from the Batman that I managed to go and visit during the making of this video. In the movie, Commissioner Gordon and Batman learn from the Penguin that they must follow the Riddler's trail and visit the old Gotham orphanage that has been abandoned for years. The building used to play the part of the orphanage was actually the now abandoned Hartwood Hospital, which sits on the outskirts of Glasgow in the village of Hartwood near the town of Shotts in Scotland. A former psychiatric hospital that closed in 1998, which was briefly used as a film studio but now sits abandoned next to the railway station. Arriving at the site, I was greeted to a large sign that said "Keep Out". However, there was an opening in one of the fences just down the road. Having parked my car, I proceeded on foot. On the way, I passed the main building, which was rumoured to be originally used as the exterior for Wayne Manor, but this idea was eventually scrapped. Very impressive nonetheless, and if I hadn't been on my own, I would have taken a look inside. The building I was actually looking for was the slightly smaller building around the back. This building, right here, was used in the shot where Batman and Commissioner Gordon arrive at the orphanage at night, passing by the gates. In real life, there are no gates, but the building sits proud, looking every bit the creepy abandoned building that it is. I've abandoned the tripod, so we're handheld, but that is the building behind me that briefly appears in the Batman when they say, "Let's go to the Gotham orphanage." They appear in the night at this building. With fascinating architecture around the towers and an eerie feel to the place, it's easy to see why the filmmakers chose to use this building in The Batman. If you are planning to visit this building yourself, approach with caution and preferably go with a group. A very cool building, and one that fits very well into the world of The Dark Knight. Thanks for watching this episode. I hope you have enjoyed this exciting look into the world of The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson. Thank you for stopping by. To stay up to date with all the latest videos, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Instagram at Lights Camera Location Videos and over on Facebook at Lights Camera Location.